Surprise me.
What do you mean?
Ah! Here's 5 pours that we were pretty surprised about. Well, we love getting surprises, Will.
Do we?
We get surprises a lot in the mail here and there at our box.
Overdue bills.
Overdue bills, IRS statements.
Credit checks.
Other things.
Identity
toe.
theft.
There was that toe that one time.
You got a toe?
I got a burnt toe.
Burnt?
It was burnt.
Was
It's
it
like, I was like, you don't even need to
animal?
autopsy that. I know exactly where that came from.
Was it frost burnt?
No, it was not. It was straight up charred.
Oh.
It was straight up charred. But
Charred
we've got
toes.
5 pours today.
Yeah.
That we think when we went to taste these, we did not expect what ended up happening.
Yeah, there could be a lot of things that play into this, whether it was the price, whether it was solid and we thought it was going to be terrible, or vice versa. It's really just our expectations were not, it didn't play out the way that we thought it was going to. And I think when you've drank a lot of whiskey, as we have, you end up having a lot of preconceived notions about things, whether it's where it's from or what the style is, that you can let those biases get in the way of actually just enjoying it, just tasting it and seeing what you actually think about it.
Right. So on this show, we do a lot of reviews. We get products, we review them, we talk about them. These 5 pours really surprised us when we did try those. The number one, not the number one, but the first
these aren't
pour.
These
not in any order
per se.
Okay, you need to get all
This
5.
isn't number one most surprising pour.
Yeah, and this could be a pour that we thought was good and ended up being great. It's not. Blue Note Juke Joint whiskey, uncut, unfiltered. These picks started circulating around 2021.
Yeah.
They had this in the Riverset Rye. These single barrels were 5+ years Kentucky distillate coming out of Memphis. And these things were freaking hitters for $39.99 to $49.99, depending on your market.
Yeah. Really solid price point, really quality whiskey in there. The stocks that they had and still are putting out as well are just very, very quality whiskey for the price. When a lot of NDPs, non-distiller producers, are just putting out stuff, raising the price because they know they can get a premium on uncut whiskey these days.
Right. Yeah. So for $49.99, $39.99, wherever you are in that market, this is 100%. Pick this bad boy up. You will not be bummed out. We went into this thinking Memphis, because we knew it was from Memphis. We got
there's a lot of beef between Nashville and Memphis.
Yeah, you got to fight for the capital.
They used to be the largest city in Tennessee. Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Ever since Amazon
we took that title.
Anyway, great surprising pour. Will, what's up next? What's our another surprising pour?
This is going to be a surprising pour because of the state of origin.
Oh.
Because we like to throw a lot of heat on the Texas heat. And so a lot of times Texas whiskeys don't get favorably reviewed by the palate of Kentucky bourbon drinkers. There's a place for them. People drink them. They stay in business, so they exist. But a lot of times what we're looking for as more bourbon drinkers is not what's coming out of Texas until the folks at Still Austin arrived on the scene.
I have not had a bad pour of Still Austin. And let me go ahead and tell you something. This thing coming in around $80.
Yeah.
It tastes this is the Texas BTAC.
Yeah,
as far as I'm concerned.
Specifically is a single barrel cask strength that was put out by Sealbox. Our buddy Preston, he jumped on it real quick. It sold out quickly, but he's like, anybody want this? I'm placing an order, and so he got me this bottle. This one's 116 proof. It's only about 3 years old. Drinks 6 years old. Has some really unique flavors to it. To me, I get some like bell pepper. It's kind of an earthy sweetness that's good, but it drinks like no other whiskey from Texas, and it drinks like no other 3-year whiskey I've had. So it's something unique, but I've had the cognac finish. Our buddy Derek brought it to Whiskey Weekend, having some other regular releases. Just really quality product coming out of Austin, Texas. So you'd expect nothing less from the lesser Nashville of Texas.
It's so good. Super surprising. It's coming from Texas, and it happens to be freaking home run. All right.
Do you get that bell pepper?
I didn't get bell pepper, but you know what? It's not the first time I didn't get something you got.
Yeah, but that was about $79 is what I paid for that one.
Now this one's a little bit more well known. This one's Benchmark Foolproof. We think that this is a surprising pour just because Benchmark historically was a lower brand that Buffalo Trace didn't really pay too much attention about. Yeah. It had its market. It did its thing. It was a value pour for a lot of college students my age when we were coming up through college. We were very
when you and I weren't in college, but were newlyweds, not to each other, but to our wives. We played canasta. And the reason I would go through a bottle of Benchmark.
So Benchmark actually was one of the bigger catalysts of Will and I even remotely wanting to talk to each other about whiskey. So that's a fun thing. Right. But this is super surprising because Foolproof coming in at $25, $30 in certain markets.
Not a lot of age on it, about 4 years old. They're not letting that sit any longer than needed when it comes to getting it into the bottle. But a quality, higher proof pour for the money, especially if you want to make a cocktail or mix it with something. But I'll drink it neat. It tastes great.
Yeah, and people have said, I don't agree with this, but a lot of different palates than mine have said that this is like Stag Jr.'s little brother. Here's the deal. Foolproof, probably around the same proof-ish, not as much age, probably. I don't know 100%. These are two different pours to me.
Yeah,
Stag
Jr.
there with Benchmark. But
I get the comparison. It's a higher proof. It's a budget pour. It's from Buffalo Trace. Probably the same mash bill.
Right. Yeah. $25 to $30. We were surprised to see it at that price point and it'd be so good.
I also like a lot of the other lineup of the Benchmark. So don't just be afraid to
top floor is another
dance
favorite.
Around through those, even though the one we highlighted was the Benchmark Foolproof. So
right.
I'm going to do this one. So this was sent to our buddy Brian, sent to us from our buddy Brian out in Colorado. We did a show that was audio only on it about some American single malts. So check that out at our podcast feed if you want to look at American single malts. But this is Stranahan's Blue Peak. It's about a $40 bottle, but it's a Colorado single malt with a Oloroso sherry, a Solera finish, essentially, in Spanish sherry casks. So pretty fantastic little pour here. It's 86 proof. And it was surprising because we don't tend to do a lot in the single malt world. But this one was sent to us. We decided to expand our knowledge and our palate with some other American single malts. And it's just an easy drinker. It tastes really good. It's not scotchy.
It tastes like nerds in the best way possible.
Yeah.
It's just like fruit gummies everywhere. Like if
gummies coming from Colorado, 100% on brand for them.
Oh,
yeah. But I will say, just once again, surprising to us because we're not really, we don't drink a ton of American single malt, not a ton of single malt in general, but we gave it a shot and it completely stripped down some of the expectations we had when we fully expected not to like it. So,
right.
But no, it was easy drinker and really good.
And crushable. Last one on our list. This pour surprised
the most polarizing of the lot.
Yeah, so speaking of single malts, this is also out of Texas. I don't know why we're in a love fest with Texas.
And single malts.
And single malts. We've done a couple.
You're saying love fest, but the entire concept of this video is that these are things that were very surprising.
Right.
You said it surprised the crap out of us.
Now, we've had balcones, and I'm saying balcones. I'm not saying balcones, okay? This is straight from Texas. Do you think Texans say balcones?
Yeah, I do.
No, I don't think they do.
I think they enunciate it out.
It's balcones, and it's a Texas single malt whiskey single barrel. This thing just had some character. It had some depth. Look how dark it is.
A lot of chocolate.
Yeah, a lot of chocolate.
Chocolatey.
I was just extremely surprised because we've had balcones before.
We've had balcones before, right?
And it was very grain forward stuff. And if I remember correctly, a lot of peanuts.
Well, and there's a lot. I mean, there's a market for it. There are people that love it and that drink it. It's out of Waco, Texas, and there are a lot of people within the bourbon community that this is not something that they reach for. This is almost the Dickel of Texas, if you want to think about it within some of the enthusiast groups. That it's just like a persona non grata. It's like, we're not really going there. But we tried this single barrel.
It's so good, y'all.
It's so chocolatey and rich.
I'm still so surprised.
Funky.
I just had it again. It's beautiful, Will.
It was one of those that we were like, there's no way we're going to like this. Let's drink it.
Right.
And yeah,
just shoot it. Shoot it. Tell me that you're not in love.
It's rich, full-bodied chocolate.
Now, this
Some
is
sweetness
one
on the end, a little bit of sulfur, which you get from a single malt often.
I just wanted to tell people, be very careful. We are doing the one with the hammer.
There's a hammer. Yeah, this is
because there's other symbols in there. This is the mallet that you hit the bung hole back in with.
Right. And this is like Grease said, this is a single barrel from Red Dog. That's how we picked it up.
Yeah.
And it's
at Red Dog right now, by the way.
Aged in new American oak barrel for 50 months. So you do the math.
Right.
But very dark, a lot of flavor. And
okay, so 4 years, 2 months.
And also it's 115.6 proof.
Yeah, that's a bit different.
57.8% alcohol by volume.
Yeah.
Drinks really well.
That one
definitely
was the biggest
not
surprise
in the bourbon palate. It's very chocolatey, rich. There is malt there, some sulfur, not in a bad way or off-putting way, but definitely present there. But really was surprising and something that I would have. That's kind of a nightcap for me. Like you could pour a drink of it and be satisfied.
Yes,
it's not crushable like the Blue Peak, which was the other single malt that we did, which this you can go through.
Oh, yeah.
You can just keep pouring.
Yeah. What's the proof on that?
This one is
like
86.
Yeah, 86.
This one, though, while this is light,
115.6.
fruity, bright, this is heavy.
Yes. Rich.
Chocolate.
Cherries.
Bitter yumminess that you'd pour one of it.
Like dark cherries.
Sit out by a campfire and enjoy your evening. All right, Grease. These are
that was super surprising, Will.
5 whiskeys that really surprised us of late.
Just still so surprised.
So surprised that we made it through it.
We did.
Yeah.
Honestly, the Balcone's probably my most surprising pour that we have. But all 5 of these literally just kind of blew our minds in the moment.
Yeah, and big fans of them.
And with Stranahan's being $39.99, Blue Note $39.99, the Balcones $49.95. I don't think I mentioned that. Still Austin and $79. And then what's that one?
That's Benchmark, buddy.
Benchmark $29.99.
You put BM.
Yeah. Well, I was like,
I don't pay $30 to take a crap.
Yeah, I didn't think I pooped.
We will say, though, what's also surprising about these is that the price points, except for the Still Austin, which is a little bit higher, especially for 3-year whiskey, I think it's proof that it can be worth it. But other than that, another big surprising thing is that these aren't breaking the bank to purchase.
No.
A lot of times you're seeing whiskey these days that are just so expensive. And
you can buy all of this on like a $250 budget.
Yeah. Something like that. I'm not going to add it up. I'm going to put the burden of proof on the viewer.
Well, do the math.
All right, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and subscribe, ring the bell, and thanks for your continued support of the podcast. Let's get to 10,000 soon. We'll talk to you soon.
Love y'all, mean it.